What's up, everybody, and welcome to another week of cocktails and content. And joining me this week, I'm very excited because we have another personal branding expert with Hollie Kitchens. How's it going, Hollie?
What's up? It's going great. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm super excited about this.
Yeah, I'm super excited to have you on too. So, not to go too deep into your backstory, but tell us a little bit about your backstory with personal branding and what you're doing right now.
Yeah. So it'll kind of go deep, but I'll go super fast. I'm a fast talker. And I'm very straight to the point. So
Yeah,
I think it really, looking back, I first would have thought it would have started when I first launched my business.
yeah,
However, the more I tell a story, the more I'm like, wait a minute, that's not incorrect.
it goes farther back than that. Yeah.
Yeah, which I think everything does once we start kind of dissecting things. But when I was about 15, 16, I was just such a social outcast. Loved
Yeah.
MySpace. Like one of the, shout out to us kids back there, the
Shout
MySpace.
out to MySpace and Tom, right?
Yeah, good old Tom never did us dirty, but yet
Nope,
we're
never.
loyal. So yeah, we just loved MySpace, and I was on it so much that of course you can edit your own profile, do all that.
Right. Have your best friends and your music.
Yep, I always take it up a little bit more and find some HTML and code stuff that's was already out there. So I
Right.
started doing that, and then I'd have people reach out to me, like my friends, and like, dude, how'd you get your profile to play like this song, like on that public radio, blah blah blah. So
Yeah.
I would start just giving them snippets, like, hey, copy and paste this code in this part of your profile. So it just
Right.
started there. And then, it was funny because people would always reach out to me and ask me like, hey, can you pimp my profile? And it was just kind of fun, like literally all the way up through high school.
Right.
That's the kind of stuff I enjoyed doing, just kind of helping everyone when they didn't understand it. I'm like, I got you. Like, this is what you got to do. If you don't understand it, you just got to copy and paste it.
Right.
So fast forward into now as an adulthood, with real estate, it kind of did the same feel for me.
Right.
I didn't have corporate constraints. I can kind of, create my own brand as an entrepreneur. And then
Right.
it just kind of, brought that excitingness back to me, where I can utilize those DIY hacks. And then it was
Right.
almost like high school again. People started sliding in my DMs and they're like, hey, how did you do that? Like, that's cool.
Right.
Who's doing this for you? And I'm like, I'm balling on a budget and I'm doing it myself. But I'm more than happy to tell you how I did it because, you know what I mean? Like, we always need that mentor. So that's kind of how, I guess I got kind of sucked into it. It's just kind of just a passion for finding ways and being resourceful in this.
And I think that's an amazing thing too, because like you said, with MySpace, you just said copy and paste what I'm doing and duplicate it.
Yeah.
That's kind of what you're doing with the DIY legend, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about that before we dive into it?
Yeah, so DIY Legend was like a scalable way because I don't, within those DM conversations, people would be like, well, do you do coaching? How can you coach me? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I got so much going on. Like, I can't dedicate, or I could, but I just choose not to right now to dedicate my time.
Yeah.
On a scalable membership level, that's just $29 a month, free trial or a penny trial for 14 days. Yeah. It's access to a closed group. It's a membership that has Canva templates, so you can have brand consistent marketing. Marketing campaigns, just a little hacks, tips, tricks to kind of make your life as an entrepreneur, especially those of us who maybe aren't at the level just yet to hire, executive assistants or to, bring somebody on board. It's just kind of, I like to be that cushion, that stepping stone before you make a hire to kind of help with brand consistency and business owners.
And I think the great thing about what you do is it's all duplicatable, right? Yeah. You give people the templates, you give people the right know-how to get to that next step.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Yeah. And I think it's great. I tune in all the time, and there's a couple tidbits that we're probably going to talk about that we're going to go through here. But cocktails and content, as you guys know, what we're going to do is we're going to ask questions regarding personal branding, video, and everything along those lines. So what we're going to do is we're going to ask those questions. There's 4 questions. Me and Hollie are going to go back to back on this. But before we get into that, let's get a word from our sponsors here.
They told us not to go lie, drink, and give away our trade secrets, so we decided to do all of it. Welcome to Cocktails and Content, powered by Content Cards. That's contentcardswithaz.com, an easier way to sell homes.
Awesome. So like we said, what we're going to do here is we're going to go through a couple questions. We're going to ask Hollie here, the personal branding expert, and see what we can come up with. Does that sound good, Hollie?
I love it. I'm nervous, and it makes me a little excited.
Yeah, that makes us a little more excited, right? So let's just get into it. Let's go to question 1. What percentage of people trust recommendations from someone that they already know? Would it be A, 50% of people, B, 65% of people, C, 75% of people, or D, 90% of people?
And so the great thing is this is multiple choice. So that's
It
good.
is multiple choice.
So, someone that they know, and this is tough
Mhm.
because I feel like I would say let's say 75%.
75%. It's actually D,
I
90%.
was gonna say that, then I was thinking maybe that's too high.
It's a little too high, right? So as the game goes, Holly, you have to drink now since you got the question. But
Cheers.
yep, cheers to that. 90% of customers trust recommendations from someone they know. So let me ask you this. What kind of personal branding do you do to make sure that people know who you are, right?
So I think that there's just a good balance, and it's kind of like a dangerous balance of people like, you don't want to sound like you're on a QVC commercial. You don't
Right.
sit there and like pitch every time someone goes to your Facebook and they're going to sit there and see you selling a product. So
Exactly.
yeah, so I think like people mess up theirs because it's like they oversell, like especially when it's new or we're excited about a product. Like we just
Right.
go out and sell, and like shove it down their throats. And obviously
Yeah.
people are going to be turned off by that, and they're not going to recommend you because it's like that
Right.
person cares. They only care about a sale. They don't care about like the person.
Exactly.
So, as far as like, when you go through and you implement things like that, it's going to be kind of a mix. And when it comes to personal branding is going to be the mix of your profession with your personality.
Yeah.
And I just feel like a lot of people mess up on it. They nail the profession, but they nail the personality. And
Right.
it's like you see everybody, they're all the same. They're all begging for attention, but it's like, what's making you you? Because at the end
Mhm.
of the day, like, I've heard it so much recently. If you're for everyone, you're for no one. Like you've got to dial in your personality. Obviously throwing a little bit of you in the mix is going to attract the people that want to work with you and vice versa. You don't want to attract those stiffy people if you're fun, outgoing
Yeah.
person, right? So I think that's just definitely something that people can kind of keep in mind as they're producing content and start with personal branding is how am I making this my own? You can always get inspired by other people, but definitely don't copy and paste that aspect for sure.
Right. And I think that's something you talked about in one of your last videos in the DIY legend, right? Where you were talking about making it your own. You want to attract people that are going to want to work with you because at the end of the day, perception is reality. The person you're putting out there on social media, that's who you're going to attract. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're gonna go in there, just only shoot professional videos where you're gonna go through X, Y, Z. That's the people you're gonna attract. When you add in your personality, you're gonna start attracting people who are more personable to you, right?
Yeah, and I think people try so hard. I mean, obviously you've got to be professional, but
Yeah, of course.
they almost try too hard. So like you think of it this way. Everybody can relate to this. You're going into a party. Maybe it's a
Right,
network party, whatever it is. And
right.
you kind of look and you just kind of skim the room, and then you see the cool guy or the cool girl. They,
Yeah.
they're not looking very approachable. They're not making eye contact. They're not smiling. They're not kind of giving any personality other than they're bored to be there.
Yeah.
Probably not going to want to go talk to that person just because
Right.
wow, I'm going to avoid that like the plague. But if you see someone kind of like friendly, outgoing, smiling, looking like in the eyes, eye
Yeah.
contact, I think that's another thing too, is like people have got to learn how to be approachable, like be
Mhm.
yourself, be professional, but then also be approachable. No one likes somebody that thinks that they're too cool because no one's going to want to hang out with somebody that's pretending to be in a
Not
different.
approachable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's a great point too, because I was talking to one of the agents that we were working with for a good amount of time, and he was shooting all these professional videos. And somebody that was around and in his market, 300,000 was a good price point, but they reached out to him for a referral to the agent that would want to work with him because they didn't think he would take that amount
Wow.
because he wasn't that approachable. It's
Yeah.
that exact correlation that you were just saying. He wasn't approachable enough, so everybody thought like, man, he wouldn't want to sell my house. So he was losing out on referrals just because of that reason.
Yeah. Yeah. And then think of all the people who didn't hit him up because of that. You know what I mean? That's crazy.
Exactly. All right. So Holly, right now it's 1-0. I'm okay with that score right now, but let's go on to question 2.
Okay.
All right. So here we go. What percentage of people trust a company where the CEO is active on social media? Right. So like the head person is active on social media. Would it be A, 62%, B, 73%, C, 56%, or D, 82%?
Let's go with D, 82%.
And Holly, congratulations. You got your first ones right on cocktails and content. So 82% of people trust a company where the CEO is active on social media, basically like the head person. So let's relate that to real estate because that's what we're both in.
Mm-hmm.
So why do you think that is?
Well, I think it goes back to brand humanization. It goes back to like, I think we're in this era right now where like at first we were so corporate and we're all like, okay, we want to look super professional. We want to get the best of the best. We want to make sure we have the most expensive clothes on, even if we're going to return them as soon as this photo shoot's over. So now it's like you got the Mark Zuckerbergs, you got these people who are wearing like the black t-shirts and the pants or whatever. So I think like people want to relate to people. And I think when CEOs especially, like they're like, it's, you know, brand humanization. They're like, okay, it's more than just this company. Like their leader cares. And ultimately, you know, then their employees going to care. And then obviously the clients will care after that. But yeah, I think that definitely, you know, kind of relates back to just being a person and not just being a company.
I think that goes doubly for all those team leaders out there. People want to work with people who are just like them. Right? Like you were saying, who are wearing clothes like them, who are portraying messages that are just like them. So if you're active on social media, you're showing that you're an actual person and not just a name on a sign. That goes a long way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Absolutely.
All right. So right now it's 1-1, and we're going to go on to question number 3. So sales reps who use social media in their sales processes outperform their peers by what percentage? Would that be A, 78%, B, 58%, C, 93%, or D, 82%?
Ooh, this is a toughie. Let's go with D.
82%?
Yes.
It is actually A, 78%.
Stop it. You know what? I should not
guess
myself because like I was thinking 70 and I was like, shoot up higher.
Were you?
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll cheer.
You're thinking higher because it's been higher all night.
I know. You throw that curveball at me. I like this.
Yeah. But 78% of people who use social media outperform their peers. So for me and you, we're active on social media, right? We're always going through these extra miles. But why do you think that is, that they outperform their peers by that percent?
Well, for one, people are already on social media. So like, why not be where the people are? Like, it's so easy to just sign off, or it's so easy to go away. And I think that's why I was so attracted to social media in the first place before business. But like, you know, just to connect with people, it's like, it's just an easy way. And let's not forget, it's free, you guys. Like, why are you not using social media? It's the thing when people are like, they're nervous or they're scared. I'm like, there's so much going on. Even if you look like a complete fool, 10 minutes somebody else is going to outdo you and everybody will move on. Like, focus on the good, obviously, and not the couple that are negative or haters. But yeah, that's definitely, it's definitely a platform for sure that people need to be using.
So for the people out there that are nervous or scared to get on social media, like going live, when I asked you this, you were right away. The only reason you waited a little bit is because of your 75 hard challenge, right? That's the only reason you waited to go on cocktails and content. Because when I sent you that message, you're like, whoa. I'm on 75 hard. I can't drink right now. So that's respectable. But for the people out there that are nervous and scared to not even go live, but to post on social media, what do you have to say to them?
And just do it. I mean, literally, I have not met one person that's like, you know what, I'm not scared. I'm just going to do it. At the back of their mind, if someone says that they've never been scared, they're lying or they're
Right.
Here's the deal. It's like, the great thing about social media is you control it. If you don't feel comfortable, you know, putting everything out there, don't put everything out there. But, you know, obviously you want to make it about you somehow, some way, and attract your ideal avatar client. But you have control at the end of the day. If, you know, ease into it. If you just feel like maybe you put in a little bit here and there, maybe you pre-record the videos. Although that's a terrible idea because you overthink everything when it's so scripted and, you know, but whatever makes you feel comfortable. Or maybe you're not ready yet for video. Maybe you could just do podcasting. That's audio only. Yeah. Or it's just a picture. That's obviously just a picture. And then you create your storyline from that picture. But just find a way that makes you feel comfortable and kind of ease into it. And then before you know it, because like Facebook Live still terrifies me, but I'm over
It does.
over it more, right? Because it's like, at the end of the day, there's so many people out there that are more ridiculous than me. Like, what do I have to worry about?
And at that point too, but like you were saying, the pre-recorded videos, some of my best my viewers when I was first starting was from my outtakes, right? I would pre-record all my videos. I would have at least 5 outtakes. And the thing was, that was things people didn't see. They thought there was just the one video that I shot and I put it out there. No, I had all these outtakes. So I started doing my blooper reels, and those got more views than my actual videos got.
Because of you being you, right? It's you being like the authentic, like, oh crap, I totally screwed that one up.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool, for sure.
Yeah. And the great part about going live, especially with somebody like you, is we can banter back and forth, right? Yeah. When it's just you, I recommend if you start going live, go with somebody else, right? It makes it so much easier because you could talk back and forth, and it makes your life so much easier than if you're just going live by yourself. Because trust me, I've done that, especially starting out. If you're not talking, nobody else is.
Yeah, and there's just that awkward silence, and then there's like the deer in the headlight look.
And then you realize you're still on camera when you're trying to figure out what you're trying to say. Yeah. It's not the most. Yeah, and you realize like there's nobody else talking, but there's still people watching. So you're just sitting there, right? Yeah. If you're starting out going live, go live with somebody else, and you guys could talk back and forth and don't even think about the viewers that are on there.
Absolutely. That's a great point. And another thing too, I've kind of like shifted that's helped me with like doing podcasts or like, you know, like right now is don't think about the viewers. Think about the conversation at hand. So it's like right now, Nick and I are just having a conversation. We're chatting and we're drinking cocktails. Like we're just like, that's a lot less intimidating than, oh my gosh, I'm with Nick Kern, who's going to be taking this, broadcasting it out to his entire audience. Oh my gosh, they're all professionals. What are they going to think about me? Hyperventilating. Like,
right.
Conversation, you know? Yeah. So.
No, it does make it a lot easier too, especially if you go live with somebody you know, that you can have a conversation with back and forth. You don't even think about anything else going on right now.
For sure.
So, but thinking about something else going on right now, I am up 2-1. So this is the 4th question of the whole thing.
So sad.
Are you ready for this?
Yep, let's do it.
All right, here we go. So question number 4, what percentage of consumers said that authenticity of the content is the most influential following of the brand? Like if they're going to follow our brand, authenticity is the most important reason. Is it A, 72%, B, 80%, C, 51%, or D, 43%?
So I'm going to go with A, and this is going to tell you why. I wanted to say it's going to be the majority of content just because authenticity is like, that's real. But I've always been a firm believer, like, don't believe in a statistic that ends with 0. So I'm going to go with 73.
It is actually B, 80%.
Stop it.
I should have said 81% because you would have chose the highest one if it wasn't a 0, right?
Exactly. I know. I'm weird like that. But I mean, obviously that just kind of like, that was a myth buster right there.
I respect it. You're sticking to your standards there, right? You're like, no, it's not going to end in 0. That's not the case.
A false number.
Right. It was a fake number that I just threw in there. But that's the thing. Authenticity of the brand. That's something that we always like, that we would always say. A lot of our videos, besides the one we're sitting here in the studio, everything is shot from the iPhone, right? Why? Because nowadays an iPhone has such great quality that you don't even have to worry about the quality of the brand. Maybe back when we all had flip phones, the quality of the camera you shot on made a big difference. But now it's all about authenticity. So what else do you have to add to that point?
So I think like, you know, it's a struggle with some of us, actually a lot of us when it comes to being authentic, because for me, I'll give myself as a classic example just because I put myself in class.
Right.
Like I have such a morbid personality. Like I have a dark, morbid sense of humor. It's just there. That's just who I am.
Right.
I know exactly. You say that because you're like, wait a minute, she does.
Yeah.
Where I like, I'll drip it out a little bit, but I'm not going to go full blown like, I don't know, Charlie Manson out there with personality. And it's authentic, don't get me wrong, but like who's my ideal avatar? So at the end of the day, it's always going back to your client and then being authentic to that client. Exactly. And then it's also focusing too on your content. Your content's not about you. You're not the hero, you're the guide. My morbid personality is not going to be, that's about me. However, I can, you know, show people about, you know, which ways I'm helping people authentically and just being myself and not just saying, oh yeah, I do this all the time. And then just because I read it in a book somewhere and it sounded good. I'm saying that. Like you've got to show up whichever way you display yourself, like online, you've also got to be like it offline, because in this digital age, it's so easy for people to start sniffing that stuff out real quick.
It is. And if you think about it too, if I'm watching the video and I feel like, man, I don't trust this person, or even more so, if you're doing a scripted version of your video, if it sounds scripted, I won't trust you. That's the great thing about going live. Nothing is scripted, right? Like we can have these questions. That's about it. That's scripted right now.
Yeah.
But if you're shooting a video and you're trying to make it absolutely perfect, who in this world is perfect? So if you shoot the most perfect video in the world, I won't trust you because I'm not perfect myself. I know there's going to be mess ups. I think it was Ed Milet was talking about, he does one video and done every single time. He adds his mess ups because people can relate to that. Yeah. So if you're not being authentic with your brand, if you're not being authentic with yourself, you're not going to attract the right people in the same sense.
Well, and you're going to be miserable too. It's like, who wants to fake? And maybe it's exciting at first to pretend to be some super influencer or some millionaire or whatever. Like one lie will like add to another, add to another, add to another. And it's just like, who wants to sit there and be fake whenever you have the option to be yourself and really work with the people that you want to work with?
And I think that's the beauty of social media too, is you do have the possibility of just being authentic, right? You have the opportunity to just be yourself and attract the right people. Absolutely. This is the one place you have complete control, no matter what company you're with. Well, some companies have guidelines, but a lot of times you have the opportunity to just be yourself and attract the right people.
Yeah, even with those guidelines too, you can always find a way to kind of,
there's always a gray area.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
For sure.
So Hollie, if people want to know more about your DIY legend, where do they want to go?
So it's easy. It's just the DIY Legend on Facebook. You can follow me just at Hollie Kitchens on Facebook as well as Instagram. But it's really just about like giving you guys tips and tricks and things like that. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. DM is all like the easiest way, the most preferred method of contact for me for sure. Before we get off, I want to tell you.
All right, let's hear it.
How I picked this shirt out. So I was going through the closet and I'm like, what do I want to wear?
Like for cocktails and content. Yes. Yeah. What are we wearing?
Debut outfit. Like, do I go all like sparkly? Do I go subtle, sophisticated?
Right.
And then I'm going through my band tees. You know how I am. We have that bond of music.
Yeah.
Sure. I wanted to talk about this when it comes to personal branding too.
Okay, perfect. Let's hear it.
Okay, it's My Ticket Home Sucks. Is what
okay.
So My Ticket Home is actually a band, and it's funny because I caught them at a show. I didn't go there for them. I've never heard of them before that show, but I was like, did they just did they make that shirt that just said that they sucks?
Yeah.
Sweetest band ever, super nice people, and the lead singer Nick was like, I figured like if I put on a shirt and someone says it, so like I've already made the. How do you think about like a lot of people are like, well, what if they make fun of me? What if they do this? All the what ifs. And first off, it's having that awareness that like what I'm saying or thinking in moments like that, that's obviously not reality because it's never happened or it hasn't happened yet, then it probably won't. But then also think about it too, for all you OGs out there who watch 8 Mile, you think about it whenever Rabbit or Eminem, whatever you want to call him in the situation.
From the movie Rabbit, right?
Yeah. So he's Rabbit in the movie, and he's in that rap battle with the guy, and he thinks he's going to get crushed. This guy already knows what to say to him. So what Eminem does is he flips the script, and he
away from
himself.
Yeah.
He talks about, I'm trailer trash. I mean, it's been a year since I've watched the movies, but it kind of made me think about this. It's like, I'm trailer trash. Yeah, my mom this. This. Yeah, that. And the guy is like afterwards, like baffled, like, crap. Like
he to say. Yeah.
So another thing too, just kind of want to like leave you guys with this kind of, I don't know, inspiration, whatever, last words. It's like thinking through like embracing your so-called weaknesses and finding a way to use them to your advantage. I mean, don't sit there and hide from things like that. And then, for instance, for me, I'm not very social out in person. I'm awkward socially, but I could have
guessed that, but okay.
Well, yeah, for sure. But we connected online before we met in person, right? So
that's very true. Yeah.
So for me, I for a long time I did kind of get taken back. I'm like, okay, it's hard for me to network. I'm like, that's some BS story I'm telling myself, because really my advantage is to take that weakness and flip it into a strength, because I can connect with people like Nick, who is not obviously going to be in Frisco tonight networking at a party. He's in Ohio, but with the skills I have learned with connecting with people, I can now talk to somebody that's in the land while I'm over here in Dallas. So it's just kind of like thinking and, finding yourself as an entrepreneur. We always have a lot of self-doubt in our head and self-negative talk to ourselves. But finding, like, flipping the script, like, okay, so how can I use that to my advantage? So I just wanted to
I think that's a great point too, is because sometimes I got caught in this, I won't call it small-minded thinking, but only thinking of the Cleveland marketplace, right? And you realize there's a whole nother marketplace outside of there, right? Like you were saying, like you're in Dallas, there's people in Sacramento, there's people in Florida. There's a whole marketplace of people who are doing the same thing as you that you can connect with. And the great way to do that is social media. You start breaking into other audiences. Like you have a whole audience. I have a whole audience. What we're doing right now is we're breaking into each other's audiences.
Absolutely.
That's the great thing about this.
Yep.
And also, by the way, you can ask John this. About every time he comes to Cleveland, I ask him, like, dude, where did you get this shirt? And he's like, oh, I don't know. Hollie picked it out. Yeah. So with that being said, every time I ask him that, it always comes back to you. So I always forget to ask you.
I don't know. There's a knack. I have a knack for like looking at like shirts and just like kind of being different. I think that's like when it comes to my personal branding, I have my own thing going on, but then it's also like, I love music. I love quirkiness. I love awkward stuff. And I just embrace that, because instead of hiding from it and trying to like, keep it all condensed and creating some false, looking back at my life, whenever I try to do that, like I try to be.
It never worked out.
Oh my gosh, I was depressed. I was sad. I had fake friends who would probably talk about me as soon as I walked away. But as soon as I started being myself, it's like so like, I don't know.
Relieving.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, no, I relate the same way, because that's how I was before I started getting involved with our group here, right? That's how I was. I had fake friends, more so about trying to act a certain way. And then once I started letting that take over, that's where my personal brand really kind of shot out, because I started hanging out with the right people. And then all of a sudden you stop being afraid to be yourself, go on social media and do these things. That's when your personal brand really takes that next step.
Absolutely. And then really finding those people, like you said, once you kind of establish your basic branding platform, and then kind of start reaching out to you. So who else is in my circle that I can connect with, and we can cross-pollinate, our networks. So it's like when we get done, this is a classic example, is this podcast, right? There's a lot of people in the audience that you have that don't know who I am, have no clue that Hollie Kitchen exists, but they do now.
Which is crazy, but you should know now.
Oh, thank you. And then vice versa with me. So I'm going to take this video and I'm going to share it with my audience. And people are going to know now who Nick Krim is. They're going to know now about content cards. They're going to know about everything else, which shameless plug into content cards. You guys are totally missing out if you are not signed up for these guys. I'm a huge fan of you guys, and I just love what you guys are doing, especially for the real estate industry when it comes to partnering with Agents Act, as well as just helping people who don't have.
Which Hollie is on the board of Agents Act, first of all. Yeah.
Yes, very proudly. So, and then just all the other stuff that you guys are doing for real estate. It's definitely a nice, polished, refreshing element into this industry that's been kind of archaic.
Well, if you think about that too, you talk about cross-pollination. How many realtors are out there with their lenders who the realtors have their audience, the lenders have their own audience, but they're not cross-pollinating? And that's a huge, huge opportunity for them. Lenders, surveyors, title people. There's so many people within your industry, even in your marketplace, where if you go live with them, you could cross-pollinate your audience and you could both potentially get business from one another.
Absolutely. Go live with them, check in at their place of business, tag them. Yeah. They're probably going to be more apt to also like either reshare that post or, obviously allow it on the timeline. And then now you just got so much exposure. And then what's going to happen is you're going to keep, consistently connecting with these people. And they're like, who is this Nick guy? He's all over my Facebook friends. I need to know this guy. He's going places. So for sure.
And it's a win-win because you let people into your audience and you let people into their audience. So it's a win-win.
Absolutely. Yep, for sure. It's definitely finding a way to collaborate and not compete against each other.
And we always call it co-opetition, right? Like you can look at your competition as somebody that you're trying to compete against, or you could cooperate with them and you both win.
Yep.
It's a law of abundance, right? Because I think we're both in the abundance mindset. There's so many people out there for everybody to work with. No matter what industry you're in, there's so many people to work with. So if you cooperate with people who you view as competition, then you're going to win at the end of the day.
Absolutely. And I think too many people are hung up on like, oh, I can't because they're a real estate agent.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a real estate agent, so I can say this. Like real estate agents, they can be so scarcity, catty, crazy. And it's just all about like, there's enough people moving into the town. There's enough, like, just chill and embrace, you know, you have two choices. You can either be rude or you can be nice. I mean, why would you want to be rude and not come from a place of abundance, for sure?
Of course. And this is a people business at the end of the day. The more friends you make, the better your business will be.
Absolutely, for sure.
All right, Hollie, I appreciate you having me on. Do you have any closing remarks for us before we close out Cocktails and Content this week?
Thank you so much for having me on. I am definitely grateful. But, you know, just at the end of the day, you guys, just be you. Find whatever platform, whatever method makes you comfortable to amplify your message. Because at the end of the day, if you are finding yourself not sharing your story, your journey, to me, that's selfish, and that's for selfish reasons because you're nervous. But what you want to do is broadcast that, start sharing those stories, start inspiring those, because you never know whose life you're going to touch. Like, I'll just be, you know, real quick, I dropped a podcast episode today. I was like, no one's going to listen to this because, like, I don't know, I was just rambling for 10 minutes about personal brand.
Right.
I had like 3 different people I had no clue were even listening to my podcast reach out to me within 2 hours of it dropping, talking about like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I needed. Then asking me questions about their personal branding, asking me all these other questions. And I'm like, I love this. I almost didn't do it just because I was like, is this even?
No one's going to listen to this. Yeah.
But you never know. It's so selfish. So you guys get out there, put yourselves out there and just be you.
I think that's a great point because you never know who's listening. And guess what? Just because some people are liking or commenting, there's so many other people out there that are viewing your content that aren't doing that. So just because people are liking or commenting on your stuff, keep putting it out there, keep putting out your personal message. I guarantee you're going to get some positive results. But Hollie, thank you so much for coming on to Cocktails and Content. And besides that, I hope you guys have a great weekend.
Thank you.
They told us not to go live, drink, and give away our trade secrets, so we decided to do all of it. Welcome to Cocktails and Content, powered by Content Cards. That's contentcards with the Z.com, an easier way to sell homes.